Hey, hello there. Welcome here to Crochet and Beyond. My name is Angela. I'm so glad you stopped by to take a look at this blanket here that I just completed. I've been working on this blanket here for quite a while. I call it my COVID project because that's exactly when it started. Things just shut down and I literally lost my job. So I suddenly had a lot of time in my hands and I started doing this project here. Today, I am gonna show you the process of putting this together. These 9 stitches here are all in the channel here already as tutorials, individual. You can take these stitches and yes, make them this small and make this blanket. But you can also take this stitch or any of these 9 and you can use the foundation chain formula and make it as long as you want. So you don't have to make only a tiny little piece. So I'm giving you here possibilities of expanding your creativity. I picked 9 stitches here, but I also picked 5 patterns, which actually makes 9 squares of granny squares. So take a look at these ones here. See, right here, the ones with the flowers. All right, these are the same. Now these here are different. So technically, there are 5 different granny squares. For now, to give you tutorials on these here. So these are on the channel as I speak. These are not quite yet. Totally here, I have 81 squares. And I so wanted to get this done for Thanksgiving 2020, but I wasn't quite there. I was a week behind, which is okay. I got it finally done. But I started in the spring, so see, it took a while. Now, if I had really applied myself to it and stuck with this project forever, I would have done sooner. But the problem with a big project like this, and if you have crocheted a bigger blanket of whether squares or not, you probably face this problem too. It gets boring. So you get a bit like, I don't want to do this anymore, let's do something else. Think of that before you start a project like this to have more or less a goal on when you want to finish, so that you don't stay working on this here for years, because it could suddenly be 2-3 years and you aren't done with the blanket. So make sure that you pace it out, but on the other hand, don't linger too much. Thank you again so much for watching here. Hope you enjoy what I'm doing here and that maybe it inspires you to do something fun as well. Go grab a cup of coffee and your crochet and sit a little bit and work on something while you watch the video. We'd love you to do that. If you want to do something like this or anything else that you're working on, join my Facebook group. I would love to have you there. That's where you can post pictures of your projects as well. Also go ahead, follow me on Instagram. There's other things I like to do other than crochet. Thank you so much and see you soon. It is time to put the blanket together. This is gonna be a lot of work. Gonna take a while. What I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna organize all these squares following my chart here on the floor. I forgot one. So I need to get that done, but I'm not gonna now worry about it. I'm gonna continue showing you here what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pick a piece of paper and put it there. So here we go. There. I'll get to it, but I just want to show you what I'm gonna do to line these up so that they are in my basket. Where's my basket? Ready to just be picked and I don't have to think through the colors as I join them. How I'm gonna do this, I want to line them up in the basket in a way that I can pick them up 2 by 2s and know that I am doing it this direction and then this and so on and so forth. Because if I mix this all up right now, I'm gonna try to follow that chart, I'm gonna go crazy. That's not gonna work. Another thing that you need to pay attention to, I'm not quite sure if I actually did that, and make sure that edging I did, this was a single crochet edging, that its correct side is always looking up. So make sure that on all of them, see this one here was switched. I'm going to crochet from this corner to that corner. This one big line comes together. Then these two will be together, right? Then this will come together, and so on and so forth. So how am I gonna do that? These two will go first. So I will leave this edging facing up. Then the next thing is this edging facing up and under. This up and under. Does that make sense? Up and under. Okay, so you see what I'm doing. Here it is. From there, pick the top of these. So this goes right here. Then the next one. Oh, Mocha, really? Mocha, come on, get out of there. You're having fun, huh? She's crazy. Come on, crazy cat, go. Woo. Crazy cat. Alrighty, now I'm gonna put you're banned. Hey, so I'm gonna put this stash under this one. Next one, this stash under this one. Okay, here is my pretend one. I will get to it. By the time I'm crocheting that, that red woven stitch will be ready. There is my stash. Okay, there we go. Now nobody touch this. So these two need to be put together here. And then the next two, and so on and so forth. Most of these squares don't have a lot of right or wrong, but this one obviously does. So it is wrong sides facing. These squares here, I did a very consistent edging in the sense of there is 25 single crochets between each corner. Each corner had three single crochets and then 25 in between. If you watched my tutorials, you know how that went. What you do right now is, here is your first corner, and find the 3 single crochets and find the middle stitch of the square facing you. That's the middle one right there. But I do not want both loops. I want just the back loop here. And then go to the other square, find its middle, which is right there. And on that one, I don't want both loops, I just want this one here. So you see what it means here? The single crochet edging had clearly a right and a wrong, correct? So here, the right side, you see that braid, and on the wrong side, you kind of don't see it that clearly, right? So that's why earlier when I was laying out the squares, I asked you to make sure that the right side of the edging is always facing up. This side, I pick up the back loop of the edging, and on the other side, I pick up the back loop of the edging, which looks this way. Does that make sense? Right there. That's what I want. Let's get the yarn I'm gonna use to do this. Slip through and just do one chain right there. So you go next stitch with next stitch. Next stitch, let me see. If it has a knot, just kind of go wherever, because you want the knot to be inside, the string inside. And single crochet. Okay. Then here, next loop with the next back loop there. Single, oh, that didn't go well. Single crochet. Back loop with the other back loop. Yeah? Does this make sense? Get to the end and not have, for example, a huge difference. You don't want this to happen. All right, so I'm getting close here to the next corner. See, it turns out even. There is my 3 corner single crochets again. And there is my 3 corner single crochets again as well. All right. And then before I get the other 2, I'm gonna do the top, the middle one of the 3 single crochets in the corners. Ta-da, there we go. And then I'm gonna lay it up open. Now let's do the other two. Find the middle, that's the one in the back. Find the other three here, right there. Join, tighten it up, and single crochet right there. Okay, that one, and then keep going to the next corner. We joined these two. So it looks a little big here, but don't worry about it, because when we come this way, that line will go over this. It will go over that, and then there won't be space left over or anything. Okay, now there is my 3 and my 3 here. So let's go ahead and do the first one out of those 3. And then the middle one, and then it's time to join the other 2. All right, so here, just look at how this is going and how it looks neat if you stay consistently putting the hook in the loop you want. So it has this woove here at the end, see? Here too. Because if you keep changing all the time, it's gonna look a little wacky. Now here, guys, be careful that you don't get a huge entangled mess. That can be quite frustrating. So you'll have to just kind of always make sure that things line out the way you want. Can you just imagine this thing just being together here soon? It's gonna be crazy. For the next row, I'm gonna meet with you again. Now I am finishing up a column. I'm gonna do one more stitch here. And that's that. Okay, so what I do is I snip it off. Through. There we go. So there's my first column done. What I do now, I start from there again. And I go this one, then the other one, and so on and so forth. Have a seat. Take my piece. Make sure it's facing the right direction. And I cut the end and start again. Facing up. And then join it like that. So actually the wrong sides are touching each other. And let's join. Okay, that was my middle spot. Where is my middle stitch? Right there. Okay, and here we go, and chain. From here we go, just like we done before. Now, careful you don't get all twisted here. You know what might help? Put some safety pins here. Good idea, otherwise it will be a bit tricky. Okay, safety pin it. I think that will be very, very helpful if I do that. Didn't think of that before. Just so they don't keep twisting each other. All right. Now guys, from here, seriously, this is it. Continue wrestling through this stuff. It's gonna be a big thing to deal with. So keep working little by little. I'm gonna put this all together, all the rows, all the columns, and then when it comes the time to do the cross rows here, then I'm gonna meet with you again and we're gonna go over that, okay? So have fun, see you soon. Finished the first part of putting these squares together. As I mentioned earlier, there will be lines that go this way first. So I joined it all like that. And now I need to do the cross lines. And I tell you that up until now, this was the hardest part. So now it's gonna be easier. Because just all these loose pieces and keeping track that they were in the right order and all that stuff. From here now, I'm going to grab the blanket and I'm gonna show you how to do one line. I will do just a couple blocks, And then I'll leave you doing your own thing because it's nothing really super new. I just need to show you what I will do when I do the cross line, all right? So doesn't matter which side you start, I'm gonna go from here and start at this corner right there, okay? So here is that first corner, and I'm gonna start right here. So I kind of fold them in half right there. So you've seen this before. So if you're up to here, you kind of know what you're doing already. We just wanna make sure we do the same thing as we reach that. All right. So here we are close to crossing over here. And honestly speaking, every time when I do a crossover, there isn't like a precise formula. Every single corner could be slightly different. So kind of estimate, use common sense, and keep your, your stitch loose. That will help. I'm very close here to the crossing over, okay? Now what you need to do is you need to kind of see what are the obvious stitches nearby. So I will join this and this, and then I'm gonna do a joining here, and then I'm gonna do a joining here. Because if you go from here to here, there will be a hole that you could nearly fit your finger through. So for example, let me show you. Let me show you what not to do. Look, see? And then cross over here. That is not a good idea because it will leave a hole. You don't want that, okay? So before you cross over, go ahead and do a stitch right here at the joining, anywhere really. Kind of put it through there. See? Give me one single crochet, and then it looks like I actually have room to do another one here. See? A little closer, and then this one. Yeah, that made sense to me. Now, every corner can look a little different. I mean, sometimes you might have more space you have to fill in here a bit more, some depending on the square. Like these squares are more or less consistent, right? I mean, I did 25 stitches to make the edging on each one of them, but sometimes it doesn't exactly line up, and man, it's really not a big deal. Just kind of do it as nice and close together as possible, and then we don't have any hole there. Don't forget that, and then go from there. And here it is. All squares are put together. Oh my goodness. Finally. Man, that took a while. What I'm gonna do to finalize it, because see, it's all ends, and you can tell that the edges here are a little unequal a little, right? So what am I gonna do? I'm just gonna do a single crochet edging all around. I am going to tie a knot on every single one of these ends, sort of to unite it, like that. If at some point I want to do a fancier edging, I will build that edging upon that single crochet. But right now, I am done with this. I don't want to see this project ever again. I want to do Christmas now. And then besides, if you have a fancy idea for a blanket edging, yeah, then go for it. So what I'm going to show you right now is how I'm going to start this single crochet edging and how I'm going to do these joints here. So I'm going to show you a couple, let's say two is enough. When we get to the end, what I'm gonna do is I will follow what I did on every granny here. I will do 3 single crochets, 2 chains, and 3 single crochets in a corner here. So that will happen in all of these corners, because all my corners are granny squares, so they have a perfect spot here. So I will do that. I will make sure that the right side of the blanket is facing me, so that the nice part of the single crochet will look towards me. Now, look, there is already a single crochet edging on this square here, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this hole, and I'm gonna put it in and chain. So let's suppose that was my first single crochet. I'm gonna make another one and still another one, all in that same hole. Now from here, I will look at the single crochet edging I made. So let's say there was one. I think I could skip that one because I already did 3 here. So this one here looks like just a perfect spot. So pretty much on every single crochet, I'm doing another one because all my squares have single crochet edgings. So the only problem is here it looks a little weird, so we'll have to fill that in. Okay, when we get there, I'll show you. All right, I'm getting very close here. So you can see that this part here goes a little lower. So what I'm gonna do right here, where it's very low, I'm gonna do, instead of single crochets, I'm gonna do some half double crochets there so that the stitch is a little taller and that this waviness here is not visible. So let's see how that will go. So, and for you, you know, this might look different. A half double crochet, that's what I'm saying. Depending where your stitch is, what your stitch looks like. Over first. See, and then this mess here is gonna just kind of hide into what I'm doing. Keep forgetting my yarn over. Okay, see, now that's hiding. Okay, 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 that's a tricky one right there. I'm gonna pick up that stitch in the back there, come on. And this one. Okay, I think I'm good. All right, now I'm gonna go back to single crochet. All right. So there we go. That helped to just fill in this gap here. Now I'm gonna crochet up until here and do it one more time. All right, I'm getting close here to a dip. So let's do half double crochets here, here, and then here. That looks a bit weird, so let me insert that in a different place. I would say right there, and then here. Have to tighten up that beginning there, right? Then here is another chance to do a double, half double crochet. Don't do a double crochet, that will be too tall, okay? Just so you know, half double crochet should be it. And then I think from here we can do single crochets again. So see, do that on every single joint. Now here is that first corner. Now this one here just happened to have an end. So I'm gonna ignore that right there. I'm gonna weave it in later. And I'm gonna do 3 single crochets, 2 chains, and then 3 single crochets all in that hole. So I'm just gonna skip over these guys here. So let me see. I think I'm gonna do 1 more here. And then 1, 2, 3, squish them together, 2 chains, and then that thing just keeps following me. 1, 2, and okay, 3. All right, that made a corner. As long as it looks more or less pointy. Okay. Alrighty, then from here, continue doing single crochets on single crochets and dealing with the joints, filling them in with half double crochets and then another corner and another corner. When we get to that end where I started, I'm just gonna show you how I'm gonna join it there. Then I will weave in the ends and call it a day. So it's been fun, but I'm definitely done with this. Enough of fall colors. But let's finish it up. I don't want to have this until next year. No way. All right. See you when we're done. All right. It went all around. So now I'm ready to join to the place I started. So let's get there. Just a couple more single crochets here. There. Alrighty, what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to do one more right there and then slip stitch right here, and ta-da, all done. That will do. And then cut short, and it is technically finished. But now I have to deal with my least favorite part, all the weaving in of ends. Oh, hi, big girl. You came to check out what I'm doing? Yeah? No, the blankie is not for you. So yes, technically speaking, the blanket is done. I just have to weave in the ends, and I just grab a needle with a dual point and go for it. So I try to, whatever is at the end here, to weave it in this way. So because every time, maybe take a longer one here to demonstrate. Every time, oh, there's the other dog. Look at him. He thinks it's for him. Baby, I need space. Hi, Nugget. All right, so here is one piece. So I go towards the middle of the blanket, and it's not really much right or wrong here. Just find a joint and just weave it through, and I go until there is no more. And then when I'm done with that, I'll do the same thing with these two here. And then when I am done with the string, so I could cut it off already, but I always like to put into it as much as I can, because this is the thing, the very last tip always will escape one way or another anyway. So at some point you might just want to, oh my goodness, doggy, come on. You might want to just snip it off. I'm gonna show you in a second what I'm trying to say. So that's that. So, oh, see, after I stretch it a little bit, there's just that left. If I cut it too short, look what's gonna happen. It will escape and will end up showing there. So there's always gonna be a little tip out. So your wrong side will pretty much show these little fuzzies. If they bother you, occasionally go and snip, especially after you wash the blanket. You might want to do that. So that's why the more string you have weaved in, the more room to have to occasionally snip the ends. All right. But other than that, it is what it is. It's not absolutely perfect with the ends. I don't know. I haven't figured out a way of not making ends show. Alrighty, that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this project, and click a like here on the post and share it with somebody who might want to watch it. Okay, thanks.